Welcome to the Crowned Medium with your host, Lorenda Carr.
Hello, hello. Good morning, everybody. Good morning all the platforms. All the platforms. Good morning. My name's Lorenda Carr. Oh, I don't have my crown on. That's how distracted I've been this morning. That's how crazy it's been this morning. I've had nothing but situations happening. So many things. Good morning, TikTok world. Hello, hello. If you guys could do, you know the drill. In order to get moving and rolling, you got to do all the things. So it'd be awesome if you wanted to do all the things on the things. All right. So let's get rolling. So I have got with me today on the other platforms, all the platforms except for the Tickety Talk. I've got Meg Wolsiffer, Reverend Meg Wolsiffer.
It's so fancy, and I hate using it. I really do. You earned it, and yet I'm like, just call me Meg. It's fine.
I love it. So we're going to be talking. Oh my gosh, Meg. First of all, Meg is one of my good friends. I absolutely adore her, and she is a Camp Chesterfield medium, but also like you do all kinds of crazy stuff, and I can't wait for people to get to know you a little bit better. You and I have served on platform together.
Oh yes.
I love being in your energy when we work together. I feel like kind of feed off each other.
Yes, ma'am. I do too. All the time, please.
Yes, love it. So let's get jumping into it. Let's get jump. I tell you what, I had my caffeine a little too early this morning, so now I'm just like, whew. I got my water. I'll calm it down. All right. So, Meg, tell everybody about yourself.
That's such a loaded question. I'm just me. Hi, everybody. I'm Meg. I go by uniquely Meg for all the business side of the world. But yes, as Lorenda already said, I am a minister, a certified medium through Camp Chesterfield. I'm a spirit artist, which means I like to work with spirit and paint and draw and do all of that fun stuff as well.
I've got some of your stuff right here.
Yes, all of the things. And it's evolved so much over time. I love it. It's one of my favorite things to do. But I enjoy traveling. I enjoy traveling to do this work, to spread spiritualism, which is what I'm a spiritualist, to spread that information out into the world, but also just to connect with amazing people all over and help bring in their loved ones and bring them comfort and joy and upliftment, all of the things that we're supposed to do as mediums, right? So that's what we're supposed to do. Supposed to do. And loving, and yes. Spirit doesn't want to tell you all the negative things unless you really need to hear it because you haven't been listening to yourself.
It does happen. Sometimes we are called to be a little direct as mediums.
Yes.
Sometimes
you try to talk around it and they don't listen. It's like, fine. All right. You know what? This is exactly what they're saying. And
yeah, it happens. It does happen. It doesn't happen very often. We'll say that. Good morning. So yes, if you are on the Tickety Talkities over here, if you want to see my guest, Meg Wolsiffer, you'll have to go to I can't say all the things because then they like boot me from here. So, but if you could tap the screen, that'd be great. Or you can pop over, make sure you subscribe and all that good stuff. And you can comment over on the other platforms. Like TikTok's really weird now about all the things. And if you don't pretend you're Tina. If you don't pretend you're a used car salesman for the first 10 minutes of the live, they don't push it out to anybody. And if you suggest other platforms, they're just like, nah, we're not talking to you today. Matter of fact,
one and only.
Yeah. Matter of fact, we're going to restrict access to you. That's what they'll do. Yeah. It's crazy. So it's probably a good thing that you're not over there anyway.
I will be. There are plans. I swear. And I say that every time you and I talk, there are plans, but life.
I know life. Well, you do have an actual job outside of.
The Muggle world is still one of my responsibilities. Yes.
The Muggle world. So what kind of, like, just kind of give us an overview. What kind of responsibilities, I know at Camp Chesterfield, what kind of responsibilities do you have? Like, what's it like living on the grounds? What kind of things do you have to do? Or I shouldn't say have to do you participate in
Yeah,
at Camp Chesterfield? Tell us about that while we keep getting people in the room and getting.
absolutely. Yeah. So we're a smaller community. I think there's 40, a little over 40 homes that are here. And so living here, it's all about being of service, right? That's the whole point. It's the whole point. It's the whole point of being a minister as well, as being of service. And so, we have Saturday events in the chapel. We have, Sunday services online and in person. And so it's about serving, it's about being available to work in those different places. But also, because we're a small community, we have a board as well. I have served on the board for even before I lived here, I served on the board. And so that's kind of like the wizard behind the scenes, right? And how everything gets made and done, and, why we have events and festivals, why we're still here. Right? That's all part of it.
Right.
So you have opportunities to serve on the board, to participate in our different events and festivals, to teach. I'm currently the Dean of Education here. So I put together our educational program for those that are aspiring mediums or ministers or metaphysicians, or you just want to learn something cool, right? You just want to come and learn something cool. That's great too. We do those both online and in person. Now, I will say you cannot go wrong by coming for in person. I know Lorenda has come to some of those, and the online is great, and I love that we have it, but the in-person stuff, man, you get to meet so many really cool people and do things afterwards, like seances and circles and healing. It's great, right?
And who doesn't love a good seance?
Right. Who doesn't love a good seance? Everybody does.
I know.
So, yeah, you can't miss out on that. We have a hotel, and so when people come for our week long of classes, all the students sit outside on the hotel and porch and just talk, right, for hours. They just talk about everything. And I think that's one of my favorite things, is that when people from all different backgrounds and walks of life come together and you just talk about your experiences with spirit or what you believe right now. Because I will tell you, when I started this whole journey of mine, it has vastly changed my thoughts, my viewpoints on everything. Like, what is there? What's out there? It has grown further than I could can't even say. Like, it's vastly different than what it was.
Yeah. So now, what made you decide to get into, kind of walk me through your journey a bit? Like, what made you decide to get into this work, what is your origin story of how you became a psychic medium?
Oh, yes, I would love to give that. Absolutely. So
I love hearing this stuff. I'm
sure your followers and your friends and people on here have heard of or watched Reverend Michelle Euler on your show.
Yes.
Yes. And so that is my origin story, is Reverend Michelle Euler.
I love her. You know what's funny? She's mine too, really.
Yeah.
Because, well, okay, John Edward was, but like, she's the one that I connected with through tap dance because of Laura, it's so weird, like how our circle became a circle. I'm just going to say that.
So Laura and my wife, Kim, were roommates in college. And so, long story short, we all got together for dinner one night, and Michelle let slip out, I think it was just something about guides, and my little spidey senses were like, oh, I'm sorry, you need to tell me more. Like, what are we talking about here? Interest peaked, brought me to camp for the first time to a service, and I was like, I'm hooked. Like, I'm in. How does one start this process? What does that look like, right? I came to, and well, I guess I'll plug it. We're having one again this year. They haven't been happening. A clairvoyant intensive weekend, and so it'll be in March, so watch for that. And it's for brand new people who are like, what is this? Or people that are already in it, right? And I went to that, and of course we like to push people outside of their comfort zones. They're like, give a message. I'm like, I don't know what that is. I don't know how to do that. And so what do? You close your eyes real tight and you're like, okay, I got this. And I gave a message, and that was all that it took. That's all it took. I started taking classes, every opportunity that I could. I got my seeker certification, mediumship, and I took a little pause during COVID. I think a lot of us did, right? Took a little pause.
Yeah.
And then felt that call, because it really is a call to become a minister is vastly different than just being, I say just, right? There's no just about being a medium,
right?
But it's a different calling because it calls in the higher power, and whatever that is for you, right? For us, it's infinite intelligence, right? It's calling in that source energy of more,
right?
And it becomes more counseling, and I can marry people. I have not had that opportunity yet. I've done funerals, which is also very hard, but you help in a different way. So, yes.
What's your favorite, like when you first started doing this in your messages? Okay. I always like to ask, like, where, what was your clair, I guess? How did you receive the information when you first started working? Because I know as you move on, all the clairs expand, everything expands. Like, my favorite thing to be like, well, I don't ever get like clairaudience, and all of a sudden spirit will be like, mama,
can you hear me now? Right.
Like, just kidding. I don't really see spirits. Oh wait, what was that? So when you first started, where would you say your clair was? Like, what was your strongest gift?
Absolutely. And so it was that clairvoyant side of just knowing things without knowing how you know them. As an so I've always been an artist, and so I would get a lot of colors as well, and just, like thrown in my face, like, oh, look at this color. I'm like, oh, that's a pretty color. And being able to describe it, and then like how I work with my students now. Okay, so what does that mean to you, right? What does that make you think of, right? Where does that take your brain? You follow that story and talk it. But yeah, it was absolutely the clairvoyant side. And same as you, I don't know that I ever asked, but my team, they have a really great sense of humor. And so they're like, ooh, you're on platform in front of all of these people. And so we're going to throw something at you that you've never experienced before, and good luck. Right. That's how my people treat me.
Yeah.
It's never just that you're at home, right, and you're meditating, like, ooh, I'd really like to, spirit, let's start having that clairaudience happen. No. They're like, oh, you're in public.
Let's do it now. Seems appropriate.
How can you handle it this time? Yeah.
Right. And that really has happened on platform before. We're like, and oh, hey. All right.
That's new.
Like, why do I smell oranges? What? Right now.
The smelling I'm good with. When you start tasting things, it gets real strange.
It does. Yep. Yeah. And you're like, yeah. Anybody else?
It's not a stroke, right? I'm not having a stroke.
Yeah, it's never, you're right. It's never at home while you're meditating, inviting spirit to try new things. Nope. And it's usually shortly after you say, well, I don't really get those things.
Yeah.
Okay. The spirit
challenge accepted.
Right. That's usually how it works. Now, at what point, now you did art way before you ever did mediumship. So how do you feel like, looking back on your art journey, do you feel like you can look back in reflection and go, oh, there might have been something to that, to how I was creating, or how I was bringing forward my artistic ability, or the creating part of it?
So I will say that every single artist, whether you are a crafter, whether you are painting, whatever, you get inspiration, and that inspiration is coming from spirit. That is what I have learned. So yes. And so I just recognize it now, and I recognize who steps forward to work with me versus just that, oh, inspiration. Yeah, I want to make that happen and follow that. Everybody is doing it. And yes, my mother at 12 years old was like, I have no artistic talent, so here, I want my daughter to, and put me into the arts. And so it grew from there, right? It grew from there. And I'm very grateful that she did it, because as life leads us, right, we put away the things that we love, most of us, and we go into the real world, right, that adult world. I went to college for art, I don't do any art for my real job. And when I started coming to camp, there was a wonderful spirit artist here, and I took a class of his, and I was like, I had no idea that I could merge the two. And I said, okay, so can we sit down? Can you show me? Can you teach me? Can you help me? And I'm so grateful. Reverend Jeremy Kaler, I am so grateful to him for working with me one-on-one, where he would literally text me and say, okay, I sent you somebody, make something. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Okay.
You know, and then I'd send it back to him, and we'd have the conversation and the messages, and he really helped me grow in that understanding that it isn't just art. And it's never just for me. Like, I don't have any of my art that's for me, and sometimes that's really disheartening because I love a lot of my pieces that have gone out to their forever homes, but it's fine.
It's fine. Well, we just need to have them made for museums.
I love that. Yes, please.
We're setting that up. There we go. I'm really good at this manifesting thing.
Of course. Who isn't?
Right. So also in TikTok world, if you guys have questions for Reverend Meg, let me know. Good morning, Lace. Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. It's Christmas time. So I'm back to I should say it. Hello, everybody. I love my Christmas movies. So make sure you guys are tapping and saying hi and doing all the engagement things over here in the tickety-tockety world. And just know we're on the other platforms as well. Hello, Regina. Hello, Regina. How are you? Just making sure I'm saying hi to all my people so they don't feel ignored over there.
I'm coming to your house for the holidays if you're going to talk like that all the time, because I will be entertained.
I know. Well, and of course, your wife really was a bad influence because now I've got a leg lamp from.
I feel like you were the bad influence, not her. I'm just saying.
Listen,
you went big, and so then of course she had to go big. Like,
I
have 5 lamps, Lorenda, 5 of them. No, thank you.
Did I do that first? Was it me first?
Because you sent her the link of where she could also purchase. No, I'm aware.
It was my fault. Sorry, not sorry. Well, and mine is hidden right now because we have to change the batteries in our blinds that are like auto blind. I don't have like a manual thing for it. So you can't see my lamp.
It never got taken down last year. It has always been sitting in my office upstairs. It's just out and not in the window. So thanks, Lorenda. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. I love you. Again, it's fine. Everything's fine. What's wrong with a big old leg lamp in your window? Out, accessible all year round.
All year round.
There's nothing wrong with that. Kim is in. She's like, yes. Oh, man. Yeah, I forgot I was the bad influence. I'm sorry. Sort of. It's art. It's art. We'll just say that.
Or mood lighting. Either way.
I love it. I love it. See, Manda says they love the leg lamp. It's fine. Everything's fine. All right. So I have more Chat GPT questions for you. Look at me. I'm so organized. Except I am so like fired up from this caffeine right now that I can't even think straight. I usually have to eat with it. And I didn't because I was freaking out over my camera situation. The technology issues, considering it's not even Mercury retrograde.
I was going to say, you can't blame it.
No, I can't even blame it on anything. It's just nonstop. But it happened earlier this week too, because you brought up Michelle, Reverend Michelle and Carrie Koss and I are recording a podcast. We were like dealing with stuff for, I don't know, a good 45 minutes to an hour of just technology stuff. I'm like, listen, I'm over this. Can we just like move this on and work it out? So, but I'm glad it's all worked out now and we're here and it's all good. So just to fill you guys in that are popping in and out, we've got Reverend Meg Wolsiffer, psychic medium, spirit artist. She's also a Camp Chesterfield resident medium. She does all the things. She teaches classes. What classes are you teaching any classes right now? Doing any development circles?
Yeah, so I have 3 development classes because there's just too many people.
Of course you have,
2 of them
because
are
you're
online
awesome.
and 1 is in person. I have a more advanced level for online as well as a beginner where we're kind of going through all of the newbie stuff and getting those understandings and growing. And my favorite thing about my classes that I offer is that everybody is welcome. It doesn't matter what level you're at. And it's a great safe space to just ask the question. Like there's no judgment. You can ask the question because everybody's got them. And I'm like, just what do you want to talk about? Right. Because let's get into it.
I love that.
Yeah.
I need to make a point to actually come to like one of your classes. I feel like your classes interfere with my dance classes. That's probably why I have not come to any of your classes. Shocker.
We can figure it out. I have people requesting different days, so we'll figure it out.
Yeah, because I'm one of those. I need the shirt that says I can't. I have dance.
You do need that shirt.
Yeah, normally it's for teenagers that just are at dance all the time. It's me. I'm always at dance. It feels like someday I will retire, and then I'll be like, I'll be missing dance. However, I could do this whole mediumship thing pretty full time. I feel like I dig it. What is your favorite part? What's your favorite thing about doing mediumship?
Oh, all the people I get to meet. That is honestly my favorite part is people finding me through lots of different ways and sitting down and me being able to help them to connect in with the people that they've been wanting to talk to. Yeah, that's my favorite part.
Now, do you have any good, obviously without saying names or whatever, do you have any good, any fun stories or any favorite situations that have made you go, okay, this is why I do this?
So I love that question. Here's the kicker though, Lorenda, is that, and you understand this, I'm so altered when I'm doing my work that I generally don't remember. It's the emails that people send me afterwards. They're like, oh my God, thank you so much. And blah. That to me is like, you don't have to say a word for 30 minutes, an hour when we're talking. You don't have to say anything to me. And if afterwards you send me a text message or an email and just say thank you, to me, that's everything. That's everything. Or you cry. Like, I don't like making people cry, but it's also like,
listen, sometimes a good tear.
A good
makes you realize you did it. You brought it through. You're doing the good work.
Absolutely. And and doing this as much as I do, it's hard to just pick the one. Now, I will say that the one thing that I will mention that has probably changed my experience overall is I had a beautiful family that came for a circle, family, friends. It was a celebration, right? It was one of their birthdays. They're like, yay, let's go have a circle with Meg. Love that for me. Happy birthday.
Yes.
And, they came, they left. And a year later, instead of doing a circle, they basically booked out my entire day and one-on-one came in. And the mom came in and we were talking, and there was a spirit that just kept coming forward and was just insistent about talking to her. And so I could tell the time wasn't right. I don't know how I knew. I just could tell. And at the end, I said,
you might be psychic or something.
Maybe.
Right? Something.
At the end, I said, listen, there has been this younger gentleman that's been standing here, and I described and everything else. And she burst into tears and she says, I'm not ready to talk to him yet. She says, but you know him. And I'm like, what do you mean? And she said, that's my son. Then he was here with us last year in person, and he has now passed, and he's in spirit. Oh. And so that was my first, somebody that I had read for had then passed and had come through as a spirit. Yeah. And so that's one experience of mine that I will always hold very closely because, it's just, it changes the game. It just does. It just changes everything.
Yeah, that does. I forgot. I actually had that happen as well recently. I totally forgot because again, we're altered. So we're just like, that happened to me like just recently, just in the last couple of months. I had a client that was wanting to connect to their loved one. And then she was like, by the way, this time last year, you read for her. I bought her a session with you. And I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah.
And because we don't always recognize them that way. If we knew them as a human, we don't always recognize them right away, especially if it was limited interaction to begin with. But oh my goodness, stop it.
Well, and you know, when you lose this, when you lose this physicalness, you become almost that best version of yourself, right? That the version of yourself that you have always wanted to portray.
Right.
And even though I can see spirit, and Lorenda, I know that you can too, maybe not every single time, but I can see them.
Right.
They don't necessarily look exactly as they did. They have to change how they look for you to understand who they were physically. And that makes sense, right? It's like they have to put on that facade of, oh yeah, remember this was me when I was here.
Right. Yeah, that is something I try to explain to people, that they don't, like they lose that, like they go back to their original spirit, which could also include many other many other avatars and meat suits, but that they don't look like that now, but they will come through and impress upon us like what they did look like, or how, and they may not look exactly in my mind's eye what they look like to that person, but they'll give me certain attributes about themselves that to get me to say certain things to describe them. Then that way the loved one, the sitter, knows who they are. And they can spirit gets creative. Wouldn't you agree? Like they'll get creative on how the things they'll get us to say to be able to communicate to the sitter the evidence.
And when you have that moment of, I've never said those words in my life, like that's not a phrase that I would ever use. And that person's like, oh my gosh. I'm like, well, good. You can have that phrase because I'm never going to say it again.
Right. Right. That is funny. Like they'll get you to say like some weird catchphrase that maybe from a, whatever that you've never said before. And you're like, why am I saying, we as the human is like, why is that falling out of my face right now? Or why do I have this weird feeling? Or why am I having this song in my head that I've never heard of before? Or I only heard as a kid, like back in 1972. Why am I hearing that now? Not that I just dated myself as being from 1972.
Or when they try to make you sing the song and you go, listen, nobody wants to hear me sing that song. It's not going to be pretty. Hold on, I can find it on my phone real quick. There you go.
Right. Let me play this for you because Mama's not singing a tune. Nope. Although sometimes I do. Sometimes I'll get, especially if it's from a favorite musical, then I'll bust out singing. But yeah. So now let's talk about ethics and practices, only because ChatGPT told me to. Well, some of these questions are kind of funny. Let's see, I'm just going to read this cold. I didn't read it ahead of time. What responsibilities does a spirit artist have when bringing forward images and portraits? That's a weird question.
It is a weird question, but it's no different than bringing forward spirit in general, right? Even, gosh, because Lord knows that spirit will bring through some real weird things. And it's about how you word it, right? Mm-hmm. For example, if somebody took their life, I'm not going to outline how that person took their life.
Right.
Right. It's okay, this person passed very suddenly, right? It was unexpected. It was, I might say by their own hands, but that just depends. I wouldn't do that publicly, but maybe privately I would. And there's the difference there too, right? I'm not trying to air people's dirty laundry. Good God.
We call this
dirty laundry on a platform in front of 100 people.
Right.
No, thank you. But privately, I can be a little bit more frank and open and honest about what's coming through. Similarly, when you have tarot cards and you pull the death card, right? It's not, hey, you're going to die. We all are. Hey, fun fact, folks, we're all on that train. Yes. But it's not what that means. And when I have art, because some of it does turn out very moody.
Moody. That's a good way to put it. Moody.
It's not negative, right? I love the color black. I love the color black because it's everything, right? It is like the magician's hat and you can't see what's in there, but oh my gosh, there's all kinds of really cool stuff in there. You just have to have the drive and the acceptance to reach in and pull something out. It's all possibilities. But funnily enough, when I'm selling my art, those are some of the pieces that people are the most drawn to.
Right.
Right. The dark and the moody ones that have very interesting imagery in them. That's what people are interested in. I also, Kim will hate this, and she already does. I do create things with bone, right? With found bone, with snake skin. I don't purchase, I find here at camp. They leave me presents, and I'm like, oh, okay. What can I create with this? And it's for somebody, right? It is for somebody. And there's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with taking something that was alive and that has
recycling.
natural causes and giving it new purpose.
Yeah. Yeah. Just recycling, repurposing.
Is recycling. Yes.
Todd wanted me to, did you know that I brought through the Bang Sisters? I did like a little trance thing I thought you did. So yes, the answer is yes, Todd. I did tell her, or she knew about it somehow. Whatever.
I stalked Lorenda. It's fine. I follow all the things.
It's fine.
She's way cooler than I am. So I'm like, oh, look what Lorenda's doing.
Stop. I do. That was wild though. That was wild. Did you watch the video?
I did.
Okay. Yeah. So that was pretty wild how, like, I feel like this is something you and I could probably explore a little further, especially you being an artist, because that was wild. Mm-hmm. And then I had to go back and watch it just because it's like a dream since it was trance. But it just makes me wonder if it can be done again.
The answer is yes.
Have you done it?
Whoa. No, I need permission from Todd to sit on his porch.
Todd will give us permission.
Yes, I know he will.
I feel like Todd should just give me the keys to come babysit his house occasionally. That's what I feel like. I just go check in with the spirit, say hi to, my besties over there now. Mm-hmm. I'm kidding, Todd. Like she's not, but that was wild. And I feel like it could be done again, especially knowing that they called in, like they were utilizing the Fae, like the elementals is what they were referring to. And see, Todd said permission granted. Whoop, game on. All right,
we need to write that down. Date time.
Yeah. Because that'd be pretty amazing. And I'm convinced now that I know more about camp and like stumbled upon the like little fairy garden area. Like there's all kinds of, I didn't realize that was down there, by the way. I've been to camp so many times and walked around the grounds, but I didn't realize that that little structure that's down down the hill, whatever that, I don't even know. What do you guys call that?
It's the well house. That's what it's called. It's the
well house. That I knew there was something to do with a well, but then I don't pay attention and then I forget. Shocker. So I was just walking down there and realized there's all kinds of like little trinkets and basically like offerings down there. And then I was like, wait, Todd's house. Oh, now it's all coming together now. It's all coming together. Mm-hmm. So I think it'd be really fun to try. I'd like to do it. Is that allowed? Are we allowed to do that?
Yes.
Am I allowed to do? Well, you never know. There's rules.
The best rules are made to be broken or bent, slightly bent. Also,
I'm not bound to any rules necessarily. I do what I want.
Right.
Spirit. I'm very spirit led. You see how I said that with a straight face?
I do.
That was good, wasn't
it? Proud of you.
Thanks. But I think it'd be fun. I think it'd be really cool to try it out. But I'm also very much a mundane before magical person. And I like to just try things and do things. And that was pretty cool, like bringing them through. There is the remnants of a medicine wheel down the hill. Oh, I saw that. Oh, is that what that is? I thought it was just some wagon wheel. I actually got video footage of that. And I was like, oh, wonder what that is. We'll put that in my archives. Huh?
to learn about later file, right? Like, oh, there's something down there. Don't know what that is.
Pretty much. It's like, wait, there's a wagon wheel over here. Who's missing a wagon wheel? Turns out it's not a wagon wheel. It's a medicine wheel, because I know exactly what he's talking about. Yeah, I know right where it is. I got video footage of it. I talked about it, but then I'd never posted that video. Thought I would. Been trying to bank videos so I could do the whole Camp Chesterfield TikTok thing. But I'm like, why have I taken on more things? That's
how we work.
I know. You're never surprised when I'm like, guess what? I have a new project. Like, of course you do. Of course you do. You're just as bad as I am, though.
Yes, I am.
You are just as bad.
You are not wrong.
I know.
You are not wrong.
Okay.
Who needs time for themselves, Lorenda? That's not a thing. It's not a thing.
That's not a thing. Because pretty much if I have time where I'm not doing things, I'm probably getting into trouble.
Sounds great.
I'm probably doing things that Matt Carr would be like, what are you doing now?
I get the same thing. Same question. Same tone. Oh, yes.
Wait, let me embrace my inner Kim. Hold on. What are you doing now?
You got it. Nailed it.
I nailed it. What are you doing now? Yes. But also, she's never surprised when I'm getting myself in trouble either. All right. So what advice would you offer? More ChatGPT questions. What advice would you offer someone who feels called to spirit art, but doubts their artistic ability? These questions crack me up.
Oh, just do it. Come talk to me. No artistic ability is required. I'm just one of those people that already, studied. I've seen great pieces from people that have zero formal training because it's not required. It's just like trance. It's just like working with spirit because you are altered and spirit's like, cool, we're doing this thing. Here you go. Are you ready? And it doesn't take any artistic ability whatsoever.
I've actually seen there's art for sale at, I know where it is, over in Westfield. There's an antique mall or store right by Big Office. One of my favorite places to go eat. There's an antique mall there, and they've got a spirit artist stuff on display. Well, she doesn't claim to be a spirit artist. She was like, just one day I woke up and I knew how to do art. And it's the weirdest thing. I'm standing there going, well, I know how that worked. I know exactly how that came about. And it's really good art. And she's like, her little stories posted said she'd never had picked up a paintbrush, and I'm just thinking, how cool is that? Like, I really could use like a spirit that wants to tap dance. Wouldn't it be cool if like a really famous tap dancer just decided to fix my knee before entering the body, but like, I wonder how that would work if I could trance channel a famous tap dancer, and then all of a sudden I'd be a really good tap dancer.
You already are a really good tap dancer, but I understand what you're saying.
But again, they'd have to like preemptively like fix the knee.
Or put a nice little brace on it, right? Like really brace it and then go to town.
You think that'd be really awesome. I wonder how that would work. I wonder if that does ever happen in dance world, where someone's actually inadvertently channeling.
I mean, it happens with inspirational speaking all the time.
All the time. That's what I'm saying. Like I do, like, I know you and I both have done that with readings. Interesting. Now I'm gonna have to play around with that. Just step into that energy of, okay, Greg Russell, come on in and tap dance.
I'm thinking putting pillows around just in case. Like, here's my tap board, here's the floor, and then I'm going to put pillows around just in case.
Just in case.
He gets a little wild, right?
Right. Or I can just do my crutches and be like, all right, and go. You can use my feet.
Right, there you go.
I don't know.
I love that too.
I don't know. That'd be wild though. I don't know that I've really thought about that. Because if we can trance channel like artists, interesting. I'm looking for the downloads of like my spirit guides to be like, no.
I don't know that yours would ever tell you no. I feel like they're like, ooh.
ooh, this could be fun. That's what they would say. This could be fun.
Mhm.
Yeah.
She asked for it. So
No.
guys, who wants to do? Yeah, huh?
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. I feel like my guides just really like to just up the game whenever I'm like, no, I don't think that's possible.
It's not going to be somebody you expect because I just heard Shirley Temple, and I think that would be adorable.
That'd be awesome.
Like,
I need to do that.
Girls, like, woo!
That would be fun. That'd be so fun because I think our birthday's coming up, actually, come to think of it. Actually, I don't know when. Hey, Siri, when is Shirley Temple's birthday? Let's find out. Oh, April 23rd. Interesting. So she's an Aries, another fire sign, right?
Look at that compatibility.
That tracks. That tracks, actually. That doesn't surprise me at all that she's a fire sign.
Oh, no.
All right. So now that I've gone down that rabbit hole, all right. So I actually had a bunch of questions in my brain for you, and my literal ADD is like off the charts right now. What would you say? Oh, I know. What would you say your favorite, because I know you teach a whole lot of different types of classes for camp and like for yourself. What would you say besides the development circles? What would you say your favorite class to teach would be?
So every year for the past 4 years, we've done a spirit art weekend with a group of us, and it's different every year. We don't pull in the same styling by any stretch of the imagination. We always want it to be something unique, and it's generally been Reverend Susan Hill, Lexi Hovis, and myself. And last year I tagged in Sophia Rasmussen as well.
Love all those people, by the way.
And it's just because we all have a different take, and we all have a different, method that we like to use. It's always very hands-on, but what people create and their aha moments that they can do it, I absolutely love it. I absolutely love it. Other things that I really enjoy, I love talking about guides. So I really enjoy teaching about guides because everybody has a thought. And sometimes that thought is very limiting. And I'm like, stop limiting your guides because there is no limit to them. We're putting those stipulations, and they don't need them. They don't need the stipulation. Maybe guidance. My guides get mad at me when I refer to them as like cattle dogs, or you got to give them a purpose, right? So you can say, hey, this is what I really want to work on with you. That's okay. But limiting it to just something, we don't do that. Right? Like my doctor teacher, I'm sorry, you can just tell me important. No, he doesn't. That man does not ever stop. He just all the time. Right. I can say that to him because he loves me. He does. Yeah. Same with Dr. Mike. Like I feel like I have this I call my spirit team my entourage because I want to be famous. So I want to have, people. I want to be infamous. You could be famous. I want to be infamous. That could be, what could go wrong there? Nothing. Not a thing. And I took my step in that direction. So I'm for everybody that's following, watching for a moment. If you get opportunities presented to you, take them. 100%. Don't talk yourself out of it because we're real good at that. We're real good at trying to go, but it doesn't fit in my life right now, right? No, you can make anything work. Mm-hmm. You just have to start doing it. I had no idea that I was going to spend a month in Salem. Oh yeah. I wanted to talk. I knew I had something huge to talk about. Oh my God. I got you. And okay, but let's circle back to that. I want to go back to that, but I wanted to go back to guides first. Yeah. I'm going to write this down. Hold on. Writing this down. Damn it. Okay. Salem. Oh, jeez. All right. I want to go back to talking about guides really quick because I love talking about guides. Can you imagine? Well, you can't imagine. There are other, I feel like Camp Chesterfield is pretty isolated in their extreme use of spirit guides. It's not, I thought it was just a spiritualist teaching thing. Turns out it's very specific to Camp Chesterfield. Can you imagine though,
not working with guides to do what we do? Do you,
I can't imagine it. I would be so scattered. And I'm already scattered. Like, could you imagine? No. And the hardest thing for people, and I don't think that I had this issue, was like trusting them. Like, once I learned who they were, I was like, okay, cool. No, that's
Cool.
great. I love this for myself. But knowing that even if I don't feel good, or I don't feel at the top of my game, because we all have, physicalness
days, yeah.
bringing me down, I know that I can turn to them and say, hey, I got to do this for the next hour. Right. And they will, boost me up.
Right.
Examples: Spirit Fest, working an entire Saturday, from 9 a.m. until 6 p.m.
Yep.
And then going and being on platform. You
Yep.
you put those clothes on and you get to the back room and you're like, I'm exhausted. Like, I didn't drink anything today because I was dumb and I didn't eat anything. You're like, whoa, I don't know. And has Spirit ever let you down? They haven't let me down. They're like, okay, we're going to plug you in with a little battery for the next hour.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you go home, you have got to take a nap. You have got to eat something, right?
Right.
So no, I can't imagine not knowing them and not working with them. I will say they've evolved, as I have as well. They've changed, and I appreciate that. Right? They're not the same that they were. So yeah.
Do you think that they're not? Now, I'm going to answer my own question. So I feel like mine have definitely evolved and changed as well, but so has my relationship with them.
Yeah.
So it makes me wonder if they were already that way and I'm just seeing them differently, or if they also, but I'm answering my own question because that's something that when I was teaching a development class, a lot of times Dr. Mike, my doctor teacher guide, will come in and just teach the class for me. Like, because I'm a trance channel, so they'll just come in, he'll just direct the class. And there was one time he said, now you'll ask your guide, what are you learning from them today? And what are they learning from you? And I remember my conscious mind going, oh, didn't see that coming. And now it's something I just always ask too, because I feel like they showed me one time, we come in as a group project, and like we, the human, are the fun project subject, but they also, as guides, they are learning just as much from us as we are learning from them. So then I meet mediums who are like, oh, I don't have guides, or I don't work with guides. Like it's some trophy to be touted. And I'm like, that's dumb, because man, I learned so much from them.
Oh yeah. I mean, but they're there, whether you know who they are or not, you're being guided. You are. That gut feeling that you get, when you're driving, you're like, for some reason, I really want to take a different route today. Yeah. That's your protector who's like, listen, you need to take the long road today.
Hello, McFly. Yeah.
Yeah. And it can be whatever, your little Jiminy Cricket on your shoulder. It could be angels. I don't care what people call them. There are outside forces outside of your physical being that are trying to make sure that you are living your best life or living up to your potential, right? What you said you wanted to do, that's what they're here for. They're here to try to get you to that point, because we don't remember, but they do. Because they've been with us lots of lifetimes. And so as they are learning with us, it's because they're having to learn us in this lifetime.
Right.
Right. Because I'm not the same person I was in other lifetimes. I might have some, characteristics and some learning lessons. Yes, I hear you. Learning lessons that I had to. Sorry, mine is always right here telling me the things that I shouldn't be saying.
I do it all the time. Like, there people that watch me know that I'm like, listen, not right now. I don't need this from you right now.
Anytime I'm in front of people, he's like, no, say this. And I'm like, oh, yes, say this. And he's like, now tell me thank you. I'm like, oh, thank you. So you do the things. You only look crazy for a little while, and then people just understand that's who you are.
But that's the beautiful thing about having this community, is people are used to it.
They're just used to it. But yeah, so they're learning you in this incarnation and what it is that this version of yourself needs, right? How can they support you in this lifetime? Because it's different. Every lifetime is different. So,
right. Have you had the conversation with your guides to to see like where or like what roles you've played in their lifetime before. Because I know like my guides, they've shown me the other lives that I've spent with them. And they've also, they've told me like, and I've acted as a spirit guide for them
Oh, fun.
before. Have you ever had that?
They seem to think that I just needed a lot more work. So no, they just like to focus on me.
All right.
But this is my last lifetime, so maybe that'll be my next one.
That's a bunch of shit. You know that. You're doing it again. You're going to get over the other side and be like, that wasn't so bad because you're an overachiever. This is what you
the
do.
conversations we've had in this lifetime is, don't let me choose that path again. Like, can we mark that one off and say you did it?
Right.
And can we do something else this next
And then
time?
you're like, listen, I checked that box. No, I'm not doing that again. I'm going to go in with no problems. You know, I'll tell you what, doing QHHT, I have had people go through lifetimes where, like they're following a really hectic, chaotic life. They will reincarnate in a very not lazy, but a very laid back, no need to learn a bunch of lessons in this lifetime.
Like your recovery lifetime?
It is. It's like a recovery lifetime. And that I've actually had that come through. And the higher self, I'll say, well, why'd you show that one? They're like, because now their life is chaotic because they did take that break. They recovered. And now they have to get back to, you know, learning lessons, or they chose to come back and learn these lessons. Sometimes I look at my guides, I'm like, seriously, I did pick this.
And they look at you and they go, yes, you did.
And they're like, sure did. You want to see the contract?
Mm-hmm.
We got to.
Hey, can we do that? Can you please bring me the I'd like to read it.
I feel like there's a clause in there that I should have an out for some of these things. I feel like there's I don't know, a button.
A button would be great.
A button that I can push.
You just cross off part of it and say, you know, yeah.
I'm going to take that one back. I'm going to resend that one. So, all right, let's talk about Salem.
Yes.
You did Salem for a month. And so I want to hear about it because I've never been. I've always wanted to go. I've never even been to go see it. But you got to go there for a month and be like a reader there. I want to hear the deets, and I want to know if I should sign up for this at some point in my lifetime.
Yes, you should.
Okay.
Absolutely. It was a lot. That's where I will start with. It's a lot, and it's a commitment. It really is. And for me, because I do have my Muggle job, it was doing both jobs. And so my days were very, very long and very full. But the people that I got to connect with, and not just the people that sat in front of me, but the others that were there sharing their gifts as well. Those are people that I don't think I'll ever let go of. They are part of my circle now. My favorite times were sitting down with all of these folks and just talking with no judgment, because nobody has the same path and the same background and the same experience or the same practice. Everybody's practicing what their heart and their soul is guiding them to practice. And so being able to share that, whether they were a Wiccan, whether they were pagan, whether they were Christian, whether they were spiritualist, I was one of the very few that were spiritualist, or any other flavor. It was just being able to share with no, oh, well, you're doing it wrong. Oh, that's not how you're supposed to do. No, that didn't exist. It was an open forum to share. And the people that were drawn to us, right, that chose us for readings, there were reasons why they picked us and not somebody else. And so it was beautiful. Here's the chaos part. The chaos part is that you have to outline what it is that you're willing to do, right? You're a medium, so I'm willing to talk to dead people, right? Absolutely. I will talk to loved ones. I will talk to guides. I will do numerology. I will do tarot. I will do, right? You give them your menu board, and then the person picks the thing. And so you might have a 15-minute tarot reading followed by a 30-minute talk to their loved ones that are passed, followed by 15 minutes of doing numerology, and then 30. Like, it can be a little crazy. During festivals and other events I do, it's like, you get 15 minutes. This is what I'm offering. If this isn't what you want, there's a ton of other readers that you can go, right? So it was a very limited. It wasn't like that. And so on a Saturday, when you're booked from literally 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. and it's 15 minute, 30, 50, like it's like having to turn off part of your brain, but you can't turn off part of your brain because it doesn't. That's where it got a little crazy.
A little chaotic.
So, yeah, that first Saturday was a huge learning lesson for me. And then you figure it out, right? You figure it out from there. But yes, I learned a lot.
Well, and that's also a really good lesson in energy management.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's something that, and you're experienced, you teach this, but think about all the people that were like, oh, I can only do 1 or 2 readings back to back because I get so drained. I'm like, figure that out.
Yeah.
Because
it's a you thing. Yeah, that's a you thing.
That's a you problem right there.
Yeah.
Because I wondered like how that was working for you.
Yeah.
Now, what was the, like, I want details. Like, I want to know how that worked as far as a setup. I mean, because millions of people descend upon Salem in October. And I imagine even part of September coming into that season.
It's like a sea of people.
What's the setup like? Is it, because Salem's not that big. Do they put you all in like a big building, or do you have a tent? Are you inside? Are you outside? Still, I gotta know.
So the practicality side of it. So I worked for one of the local shops. It's called Hex. It's one of the big shops right on the main strip. It's run by some really amazing people that are very active in Salem. Mm-hmm. And so they have readers year round there. So what they do is they set up their shop with kind of this back area that has tables, and then they've got their general spaces. They're like little cabinets, literally with a table and 2 chairs. And so they've got those spaces. And then they set up, it's part of Witch City Mall. That's where the shop is located. Okay. And so inside the mall itself, they take over like a whole section. And with it being my first year, I was out in that section. So not only was I in a new place, but I was also in a mall with everything that entails. I don't know if you've ever walked through a mall.
The energy.
It's very loud. It was very loud. But they had it very nicely set up. They like put tents up. And so you could tell that that's what we were there for. And they had, logistically, they had people that were scheduling us. So I didn't have to do any of that. That was great. They had schedulers who, okay, this is who you want to see. This is when they're available, right? And so
that's awesome.
Little app on our phone. And so it would be like, okay, your next appointment is this person, and this is what they're giving. Right.
That's amazing. Because like at Spirit Fest at Camp Chesterfield, like I don't even try to do the electronic thing. I just put a little sign up sheet outside and hope for the best and for God's sake. But then when I just did the psychic fair with you this weekend, I just got to see you in person. When we did that, it's nice having someone else.
Yeah. Do all of that part of it. All you're doing is reading. And so that's what Salem was, is like, I just sat there and I would, okay, that one's, you do have to keep your time. Obviously there's nobody ringing a bell. It's like, okay, my 30 minutes is up, and then you call the next person. Right.
Wow.
So that part was fantastic. They took all the payments, all of that. I just had to show up and do my thing. I
feel like this needs to be a bucket list for me. Even if I only do it once, I feel like I'm going to have to do it eventually.
Yeah. And I was invited back. They've already asked me to come back for next year. And so
now, how'd that work for housing though? Did they have specific housing, or did you have to find someplace, or am I just going to have to go crash at Jeff's and take the train in every day?
That's not a bad idea. So I got an Airbnb, and I had the opportunity of staying with our friends from the Healing Brew, because they're the ones that alerted me to this opportunity. And so they also had an Airbnb, but theirs was about 45 minutes to an hour, depending on what time of day you left, to get. Right. And it was just outside of Boston. And so, folks, we were quick in the state of Massachusetts. It's not possible. Okay, it's not possible. And so I opted, because I was working my regular job and then immediately having to go over and do the other work, to get a place in Salem. So I was downtown Salem. I rented a little Airbnb. It was adorable. It was just me, lots of stairs, but I was a 10-minute walk every day to get.
Oh, see, that
So
would be preferable.
A lot of people, they did choose to stay together because they already knew each other. The group that goes, it's the same group. Like every year, those same readers are there. And then they will invite other people to come as well to round out that group. And so there were people that were staying together. There was also people that are local that either live in Boston or in the state or just outside of the state. So they would take the train. Yeah. So living situation, it's fluid. They don't offer anything. You've got to figure it out for yourself.
Okay. Well, that's good to know.
Yeah.
That's good to know. Well, very cool. Well, Meg, I just adore you. I just love being in your energy. I'm so thankful that you came on and shared space with us and did all the things. And it looks like a bunch of our Camp Chesterfield people were in here chit-chatting. And so, Tracy over on Instagram wants to know, would you do it again?
Oh, hands down. Absolutely. Absolutely. Right. So they asked me to come back, and if I can make it work, I will be there again next year.
I think that'd be amazing. And I'm sure that no one at the dance studio would have a problem with me just disappearing for a month.
They can handle it. What are you talking about?
I feel like, you know what? Some people take maternity leave. Some people take time off from surgery. Me, who am I kidding? I went back a week after, but I think I could disappear for a month and go live in Salem. I'm sure it will be fine. We could be roomies. That would be good.
I would love that.
I would love that too. I mean, what could go wrong there? Nothing. Nothing at all.
No trouble to be had.
None. All of a sudden, Kim's like, "Oh my God, are you kidding me?"
That's accurate. Yes.
So, all right. Well, I'm going to get moving on to my next guest. If you could, where can people find you, Meg? Where can people find you?
Facebook, Book of Faces. Sorry, say the wrong things here. Fine. All the other accounts under Uniquely Meg. That's where you can find me. You can find me on Camp Chesterfield website. All of my contact information is in there as well. And I have to plug the last thing before I leave. Camp Chesterfield is doing a New Year's Eve party. And my wife would be very mad at me if I didn't say, please buy tickets. It's going to be a great event. That's the next place I will be at, offering readings for New Year's Eve. I mean, come on, get dressed up, food provided, alcohol. It'll be a good time. It'll be
fun.
Yes.
It'll be fun. I know. I mentioned it to my husband. He was like, I don't know what we're doing yet. That's as far as I got.
Hanging out with us.
It might be.
Us. Come on.
Again, what could go wrong? Nothing.
Exactly.
Whole bunch of mediums on New Year's Eve. All right. Well, thank you for coming in, Meg. And we'll be in touch soon.
Yes, please.
Okay.
All right.
We'll
Bye, everybody.
Bye. All right. Now up and coming, we've got our next guest is coming up. Michelle.
Hi.
Hello.
I gotta put on.
Everybody.
I should probably put on the because I can't see the comments, so I should probably put your thing up. There we go.
Hello. All right. So now we're bringing in Michelle, the medium, Michelle Pace. She's a fan favorite on the Tickety Talkities, and now I've got her here. It's so good to connect. Like you and I connect, but like usually just in comments or like if you're on hi and vice versa. Like, and you just got back from Arthur Findlay College over there doing the thing in the UK and all the things.
Yes.
I think it's great to hear about your experiences. But wait. I want to tell people about you, a little about your journey. So they can kind of know who the heck we're talking to for those that don't follow you on TikTok, you and your million followers.
So I'm Michelle, obviously. And so my journey kind of started like really going about 10 years ago. I started noticing things here and there. And then when I moved back to Florida about 2016, it really started amping up of meeting my first mentor. And it took a couple years to kind of get really adjusted to like, okay, there's more than just what we see here in the physical sense. And the first time I walked into a shop, he was like, "Oh, you're a medium." I'm like, "No, I'm not. No way am I a medium."
That is what that honest people kept saying that to me. I actually just last week had my very first psychic medium that ever read for me on the show, because I was like,
yeah,
she told me that when I was in my 20s. I'm like, I don't see dead people.
No, I don't. And then about a year after I had my first child, so about 2020, when COVID really hit, I had been really, going on paranormal investigations and doing a lot of seeing people around my house. And so it wasn't just like all of a sudden it just turned on. It was like just progressively getting more and more. And then I decided, honestly, not to have any more children. And I was like, I'm done. I'm happy. I have 3. And literally, I think like 2 weeks later, they were like, okay, we're going to get you to work and just open Pandora's box. And it took like a few months for everything to kind of start settling down. I mean, I went through a period of rapid like reading, rapid studying of other mediums, rapid practicing. I used to do like practice, like groups. I think 3 or 4 times a week I was going. It was just so fast with everything. And then within the first year, I had progressed to started to do this professionally. So just
wow. Isn't it funny how once spirit decides that it's time to go, you're like, oh, it's okay, buckle it up. Here we go.
Absolutely. It was that like for me. And then I was, you look back on your, what do you call it? Your life, and you're like, oh, I see spirit everywhere now. And maybe I did have it. It just wasn't as pronounced, or I wasn't actually focused in on, oh, this could be spirit. But then I look back and I'm like, oh, I can see all my spiritual moments happening.
Yeah, I think that is very true, because I remember just wishing that I could do this work like from a very young age, because my mom and my brothers would have predictive dreams, like really specific. Like they would say, gosh, I had a dream about da 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 the other night, and then it would happen. And I remember my brother when he was little, maybe like 12 when he was younger, we were watching TV and the news, and he said something like, oh, I remember when that happened. Oh, wait. No, I think I had a dream about that. It was something happening live in real time. And then I could see that realization of like, oh, I dreamt that. I know what's happening. I know, and it was live. He's like, and he would say what was going to come next. And I remember, and I remember thinking, I don't have that.
Yeah.
Like, why don't I have that? So, but I look back and I go, oh, wait, I did. It wasn't the same. Yep. Mine was not predictive dreams. Mine was more like, I knew what people were thinking. I knew what people were feeling.
Yes.
My mom, I tell you what, that woman always knew when I was doing something I should not have been doing.
Yeah. And it was just more than mom's instinct. And see, the thing with me is I didn't have that growing up. Like nobody had those predictive dreams. Nobody had that. Like, I mean, you have the feelings and you think it's just mom instincts or something. But I started doing this work and I was like, I'm on my own completely. And then one day my grandmother said, oh no, it runs in the family. My mother had it. My aunt had it. My niece had it. Your grandfather, her husband, my grandfather's dad used to do traveling tarot readings. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, like this was like a couple years after I had started. I'm like, I wish she had told me before, because then it wouldn't have made me so apprehensive about getting into this work or feel so alone, because I was like, oh, this runs in the family.
Right. It reminds me of, you ever see the movie My Cousin Vinny?
Yes.
My father was a mechanic. My grandfather.
Exactly.
In your case, it's like my father was a
Yeah.
psychic. My grandfather, like,
Yep.
hello.
Exactly.
I don't need to be I was kind of born this way. And I think so that was probably good for you in the sense that there were no preconceived notions put on you either, as far as like, not preconceived notions, belief systems put on you. I grew up in Indiana, so there was a lot of forced
Catholicism.
Christian,
Yeah.
but I'm a Christian. My favorite is like, oh, you're a psychic, but I'm a Christian.
No, I get it. No, but it's still something actually I kind of battled today a little bit, but not as much as before. Whereas it was like, oh my God, this is so bad to do. And then once my grandmother told me all that, I was like, whatever, I can't with you guys. I'm just going to do what I need to and keep going.
Right. So now one of the things that you've talked about a number of times is you do paranormal investigations.
Yes.
So let's talk about some of the cool things that you've done as a paranormal investigator. Like what's one of your favorite stories or experiences that you've had?
That's a lot of them, because it's always interesting, looking at it from a before medium than after medium, because it makes sense. So before I really started getting into this, there in Charleston, there was a jail up there, and that one was my first experience. I'd say that was my favorite, because it was the first time I really actually felt spirit or ghosts or whatever you want to call them. And I realized when people use the word jumped, it's not really them, possessing you in that sense. It's more blending with spirit. And we blended that energy that was there, blended with me enough, and gave me an experience that I can never forget of not wanting to leave the cell. And because I kept thinking, I'm going to get beaten because if I leave the cell.
Okay.
And they kept telling me the warden's coming back. You got to stay in your cell. And I'm like, my husband's looking at me like, nobody's here. And when he finally pulled me out, I was bursting crying everywhere. And I gotta go back. And he told them to literally F off. And they did. They finally left the link, and I had to take a minute because it was a lot right there. And then, proceeded to go on with the rest of the investigation. We went back like a year later, and one of the sections I remember in there was, I think, the wardens or guards' offices, and I could hear them walking like clear as day. And I would say, oh, they're walking this way, and everybody would follow me. And it was just because I had started giving out experiences and things. So that was like one of the first type where I really started to notice spirit. And that was, again, when we had moved back to Florida, when I think spirit was starting to get me ready for this situation. And then again, right around COVID, I think it was around Halloween, we took a paranormal investigation. We're close to Atlanta, near a plantation house. And the lady's talking about the house and everything. And this shadow comes out of the corner of my eye on the front porch. And instantly I get a complete download and image of this woman and what she was doing and what she was feeling. And the lady had paused in her, hey, does anybody have any questions? And I'm like, yeah, me, sure. And I described this lady and what she was doing. And she says, I was just about to talk about her. And she's very common energy here in this place.
I love that. I love it. Yeah, I like to do paranormal investigations, but I go with a group that they all have all their equipment and everything. Mm-hmm. And I just walk around. Yeah. I am the equipment. I just walk around. Yep. And I actually witnessed there are two mediums that would go with our little group. That they had equipment, but they were pretty much just tuning in. And then the three of us together were it was wild because we would get the same spirits, and it was kind of cool confirmation for us as
I love
mediums.
it. Yeah.
Whether the rest of the masses believed us or not, we didn't care because we were just doing the thing.
Mm-hmm.
But the other two have never taken development classes. They've never met their spirit guides. They're just natural born, really, really open to receive spirit people, right? And where I'm more of the listen, I'm taking the classes, I utilize my guides, I'm a little more restrictive as who's coming into my energy, and I like to control the narrative a little bit more. What about spirits coming in? And because I like to have them come in through mental mediumship first, and then if they were going to do trance, that's cool, whatever. But first, I want to see you in my mind's eye first, or I want to sense the spirit, but there's still boundaries. We're in a jail. So it was the same kind of situation where, I tell you what, that's great energy in a jail usually, especially if it's an old historic one. All of a sudden, my friend is just like completely changes. There, you can see the transfiguration, the voice changes, and he's this one of the really well-known spirits that stays in this jail. And I was able, because I'm trance mediumship trained, I was able to hone in and be like, oh, well, welcome. Okay, so who are you? And I knew how to talk to him.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, well, you didn't really ask permission to step into his body. So I'm going to need you to go ahead and
step out
and completely disconnect from his energy. Thank you so very much. And so he did. And my friend was like, what was that? Why did that happen? I'm like, remember that time I told you should take some development classes?
Yes.
Because if you don't know how to manage that energy, they can step in and talk through you.
Yeah, especially if they have good enough control over it. Because I mean, it depends how long they've been there, decided to stay there. They will harness it for, purposes of their own. And sometimes, it's not good purposes, but a lot of the ones I find where we talk and they think we're like they're bad or negative spirits, they're just people needing to talk.
Yes.
Really. Some of them do want to cause a little bit of mischief. And I say sometimes more than that, but most of them I find just want to talk and get their voices heard. They just want to be heard. Really. That's kind of all, I've had some interesting with my son in jails a couple of years ago in St. Augustine. If you guys ever go, it's really, really good. They have obviously they do have a jail there, and it's very old. You can take a lot of tours, and they have a solitary confinement room. And one of the paranormal tours, I'm like, oh yeah, there's somebody in here, and that's what they're saying, what they're doing, and it's interesting how they will present themselves to each other, because some people have been in this solitary confinement and sensed nothing, got nothing. Some other people get a whole lot of everything. And literally, I could talk forever about paranormal investigations, because we were sitting out front of the jail waiting for the paranormal to start, and we were just meditating, getting in our stays, me and my husband, and a car full of people came right up on my windows and were like, oh, you can see and hear us, and what are you doing here? And they were people that they were prisoners that used to work the fields when there was nothing there, and they were still there working the fields. Went in the jail cell, solitary confinement. There's this really not nice guy in there, and I told him to behave or something's not going to be nice. And he did. And then we went with my son, who I think was like 4 or 5 at the time. I think it might have been 4. And as soon as we got to that point of the jail, he was like, do not put me in there. There is a man in there with red eyes, and he's very scary and not nice. And I had said nothing to him about what was in this cell. And for him to say that, I was like, honey, he was glued to me and my husband. Like, he would not let go. When we left the area, he was fine, but yeah, he was like, don't put me in there. I'm like, honey, I'm not going to put you in there. That's not that's not what we're here for.
So now, okay, so this is where, and I'm glad that I've got you in here, because you've done so many investigations, and you're a developed medium. And I do want to talk about your experience at Arthur Findlay College as well. But what is your take on people? I don't want to say that. How do I want to put it? There are, I'm just trying to be nice.
No, you're
There
good.
are people that will say to you, spirits aren't stuck. And I don't believe the spirits are stuck necessarily, but as a medium, when we go on these investigations, there are intelligent spirits that are there.
Mm-hmm.
They're not just energy imprints. They're not just energy playing on a loop. How do you, what do you tell people? What is your response to people when they're like, well, there are no such thing as ghosts or stuck spirits, and we don't have to move them on, or they are, if there is an intelligent spirit in a building, why do you think they're there? Why are they still there?
Oh, so the spirit world, just like Earth, is very complicated. So I think there's some stuff that we perceive that could be wrong or could be misinterpreted. So stuck spirits, I used to kind of believe in the stuck spirit, right? But I think it's an old term in a sense of maybe people get stuck in their emotions or feelings per se more than they do get stuck energy wise sometimes. And they don't want to, even though they are crossed over, sometimes they don't want to go to that next level. They're worried about what's there, because I've talked to a lot of them who say that they're worried about, being judged either from their family members or other people. They're worried about being a bad person themselves, or that they're worried about people here. Some of them just like it here. They like where they were at that period of time. There's also talks that I've been kind of really looking into about soul fragmentation, where you'll have the majority of the soul that will move on, and then the low vibrational emotions do in a way get stuck here, if you know what I mean. They choose to stay here because they're worried about what's on the other side. And if they just know that there's really nothing to fear on the other side, most of them will go. So that's why when you hear a lot of mediums say, helping them move on, sometimes it is not I am moving you on in that sense of physically taking you and moving you. But it is more of they just want their story heard and told, and they want somebody to hear them. I had an investigation, and she will forever stick in my head. I was asked to investigate this library, and in one part of the office, and I said, oh, she's right over there. And that's where they had a majority of their issues. And she came at me so hard. And I mean, we have this somewhere recording somewhere or she just was a little cursing through me, the whole blending, she was cursing at them. Right. They were talking to me. She would answer right back through me. And she wasn't really a negative spirit in a sense. She was stuck, as you say, in emotions of sadness, regret, of she had overdosed, and she got hooked on it from her ex-boyfriend, who ended up promising her a lot of things and then left her there while he moved on and did great things. And she was where she was, and she was scared of of what was next. And literally, once she told all of that, I could see her sit down on the floor and start bawling.
Wow.
And her knees were up, and then my guide came up to her and whispered or talked to her about something. I can't tell you what it was to this day. She looked at him and said, yes, she was gone. The other two people in the room could feel the energy leave. She hasn't been seen since.
Wow. Well, that was my other question. If you've crossed people over, or like you said, they've been heard, they're ready to move on, then what's that do for ratings when you've got a place that's like, come see our ghosts. We have ghosts.
So again, this is where you'll have a lot of controversy between mediums about that even, and then even furthermore of you got to wait till they're willing, right? If you go to a place and they're not willing to, then what is it for you to force them to go, right? I only do that if it's causing harm to other people here. Most of the time, they're just there because they like it there or whatever. And that doesn't bother me. It is also you got to respect the establishment. You don't own that establishment. You're not, unless they come in and say, hey, can you clear out this energy? Who are you to say that?
Come and do that. Right. That
but
makes
again,
sense.
That is an ethics thing, because honestly, you can go into anything and clear everything out. You don't need anybody's permission. But it isn't, you have to think about the establishment, the people who own it. You also have to think about the people in spirit, if they actually want to go, But there have actually been people who haunt a location that are in the light.
Yeah.
Because they just like it. They just like the place. Again, with the library, somebody was there. She decided to finally go on. And a couple of days later, she was back in her old brightness and just was still helping people do what she did, but just in a different way, in a light, brighter way. She just liked the place. Yeah. So some establishments that are haunted are not always everything's not always demonic. It's not always scary. Sometimes it's just spirits who just like the place.
Right. Yeah, I actually had that. We had done a bit of a seance where I trans-channeled the Bangs sisters that used to reside. They had a place there, and my friend owns the house where they lived, and I don't know if you're familiar with the Bangs sisters. They
sound familiar.
They did precipitous art. Mm-hmm. So it was wild. And so he was like, hey, do you want to come and see if you can bring them through or connect to them? I'm like, yes. And what they had said, because one of the questions he had asked was like, do you like what we've done with the house? And they said, they came back with, we stay here a lot. We're here a lot, but we see our house as it was when we were there. Mm-hmm. They don't see the changes. They just live and exist in their little world because that's what they liked, and they liked to visit there. Mm-hmm. And so they still do. And I remember going back and watching that and going, oh, I guess that makes sense. And from a multidimensional standpoint, it does make sense that they would see it as it was when they existed there in their human form. So interesting. It was fascinating, because then they were like, let's look at, then they consciously, they made the choice to look at their surroundings through my eyes or my moment and go, oh yeah, there's no wall there now. They were acknowledging where things had changed, but in their regular existence where they are while we're being human and they're in spirit world, they lived in the house that they'd always lived in.
Right. Exactly. It's very much how it's done when I go through paranormal investigations. They do the same things of like, oh, this is different. This is new. I don't like this. I did a reading for a lady about a year ago, and she had the previous owner in the house, and he did not like what was going on in the house. And I said, well, she said, he's fine being here. But he's got to quit with all the noise and stuff, because we are changing things in the house and this is not his house. And I said, well, how about this place? Is he okay to stay up here and you just don't leave it alone? And she says, yeah, that's fine. So that's where he goes. He just stays there now.
Oh, well, good for him.
So, and she says the energy in the house has been different since then. So, but with a lot of the haunted locations, you got to understand, if you do a lot of investigations, you go in with expectations of something being scary or evil, that energy is going to build up, and it going to create an atmosphere for that as well as energy can form something that can also not be nice, that is not really spirit. So it's a lot of complexities to the spirit world as well. So
I feel like there's a lot that we can, there's been a lot that's been revealed to me in that regard as well. Like, oh yeah, there's negative energy, and it can be produced from different ways and different dimensions. And, and I just go with okay, cool. So basically take everything that I know and just accept that I actually know nothing.
Exactly. Yes.
Perfect.
That's why when we always tell people don't go in really with an open mind, because you may have one day experience something like this, and then a couple days later it might be completely different and change your mind even then. So that's why we as mediums always say be open to that. We never quit learning, we never quit knowing.
Yeah.
And we may know a lot of things, but you don't know all.
Right. Well,
So-
and that's one thing that I do appreciate about, kind of watching your journey as well, is that you are willing to continue to take classes and to learn and to keep growing and developing and be open to, oh, well, I thought I knew about this.
Mhm.
Oh, but now, let's look at it from a different perspective, which takes me back to my initial, what I really want to talk to you about is your experience at Arthur Findlay. So, because you continue your education, you continue learning, because you realize that there's a lot we don't know. And if I'm going to do this work, if I'm going to be healing and bringing people, peace, or, whether it's through paranormal investigations or through doing readings, I feel like I have to bring the most educated, best version of myself. So tell me, first of all, what made you go, I have an idea. Let's go to Arthur Findlay College. And for people who don't know, maybe tell them what Arthur Findlay is.
Well, Arthur Findlay is a psychic and medium school started back by Arthur Findlay. Good Lord, I forgot even the days back, how long ago it's been. And there's so much history with Arthur Findlay, so much to talk about in a shorter period of time, but they established a spiritualist community there with this, and it just kind of has now developed into a bigger type of school. They've actually, with the manor that they bought, they actually have added on to it, and that's why you see a little bit different buildings and stuff, not like kind of off detached, because they added on as the years went by of the house and stuff like that. But yes, the school is year round. I mean, there are very few weeks where they don't have school, but they offer so many different classes with they do offer paranormal. It's not as often as some of the other classes, but a lot of beginner mediumship, regular and advanced mediumship classes, to get into better readings, connecting with spirit. They have, within the last few years, added the art side, which is where I'm more focused in on currently. And I learned about it through just medium friends, about the school. And my husband actually one day goes, oh, they have this week in February of art and mediumship. Do you want to go? And yeah, because I had asked Spirit, I'm like, okay, where do I go? Like, what are we doing? And that class just happened to, show up, and such a coincidence, right? And so I booked it and I went, and the energy there is definitely one of those you never want to leave. The acceptance of what, they don't shun you for your opinions, but they also make you think as well outside, which is great, because sometimes we're so stuck on an opinion or a experience of and interpreting it that they go, oh, well, what about this? Well, what about this way? Or what about that way? And so they give you different ways of looking at a situation that may have happened, as well as having, get ready to practice if you ever go, because there's not a time where you're not practicing with somebody. So, and reading. So even if you're scared, they're like, too bad, you got to practice.
Well, and that would make sense. If I'm going to pay all the money and go all the way across the pond to go do that, I would want to do hands-on. I'm going to want to be fully immersed in that experience. But I guess maybe not everybody would necessarily want to be, or
well, some people think that you're not going to, but no, you get up, breakfast is at 8:00 in the morning. So most likely you're up earlier than that. It's over by 8:40 at the latest. So you only have a short period of time before they kick you out. And then you got till 9:30, depending on your teachers. But normally I think it's about 9:30. And they, at least my teachers, half an hour meditation class. We have a short break. We have another class, lunch. And then that's at 1 o'clock. And then 2:30, you go back for another class. You have a half an hour break, go for another class. You have an hour and a half. And then at 7:30 to 9, you have your last class of the day.
Wow, that's a long day.
Very. And that is Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So 6 days. And then actually the day that you get there, you're working as well. So you'll get there, check-ins. The first session is at 5, and most of it's just an introduction. 6 o'clock is your dinner. 7:30 is your first class.
Wow. And again, if you're going to go,
you're going to go.
You're going to go, and you want to
Yep.
be fully immersed,
Yep.
and learning as much as you can, especially if you have exposure. I thought about going, and I mentioned it to my husband. He was like, grumble about it. And I'm like, no, that's on my list. I'm going to have to go. I feel like there's just a lot to be learned. And especially, do you find that culturally, because it's in the UK, do you feel like it was a different learning process or different? I don't know what the question exactly I'm asking. Is it different than stuff that you've done here in the States?
Not that our teachers aren't knowledgeable here, but because it's such a lengthy process to be able to teach there, I feel like the knowledge they give out is really in depth. So it's more than just surface level. It is really in depth. They answer all the questions that you have, and if they don't, they're going to find a way to answer it. But they are very knowledgeable about this work. But again, it takes a while to be able to teach there. And so they have to learn a whole lot of things. And then they have to go through a board to prove that they can actually do mediumship and are knowledgeable about the practice. So it's somewhat lengthy. So I just find it is more in depth than what I have been taught here. And not saying that the teachers here have been bad, just it's what sometimes if you're looking for more in-depth work, then that is really good in what they do.
Got it. That yeah. Because I know I look at Camp Chesterfield and the program that they've got here for they've got different levels, but so the guest that was on right before you, Reverend Meg, she's a Camp Chesterfield, she's actually the dean of the education there. And I know they have there's a lot you have to do before you can get certified and to be able to teach and live there and everything. But I've always wondered, even comparatively between even the spiritualist colleges here, even versus there, because it seems to be that's the place to go if you're going to go get in depth. And I've heard the same thing, very in depth.
I think it's just more recognized because they've been around longer. I don't know how long Lilydale or Camp Chesterfield has been around,
but I know started right around within 20 years of each other, because the spiritualist movement started in the late 1800s.
Right.
So a lot of those places were established. And I believe that Camp Chesterfield is, I want to say 1929. No, shoot. Oh my gosh, I know this.
So it's about around the same time. So
yeah.
I guess it's maybe just the reputation of maybe where it's at and things like that, because I haven't actually heard of Camp Chesterfield until you started talking about it. I know about Lilydale through my mentors and some of my teachers, and Arthur Findlay. Maybe it's just more well known and spoken about than a lot of others, because every time I mention Arthur Findlay, everybody knows about it. Sometimes when I mention Lilydale, they have no clue what I'm talking about. So it could be just more word of mouth. I would like to take some classes at either place. I just haven't had the opportunity.
And you're down there in Florida, so you're close to Casadega.
Yes, I've been to Casadega. Yes, multiple times. Yeah, and it's nice. It is definitely not. I don't know. The air is different there versus in England. I think it's maybe. I don't want to put Casadega down, but the way they've built up Arthur Findlay and the sense of preserving a lot of the history and the way that where the classes are held are a little bit, like I said, I'm not trying to be mean, but a little bit nicer than Casadega in that sense.
Right. No, but I think also European culture, like especially like in the UK, they value that the practices. Where I think here in America, it's still considered woo-woo.
Taboo.
But there are people that think yoga's woo-woo. I'm like, or what? I think culturally, it's just way more accepted. So when you've got a culture of acceptance, that there's going to be people willing to put money into it. There's going to be people willing to invest dollars.
Yeah, I can absolutely see that.
So whereas I look at like a Camp Chesterfield here in central Indiana, good for them for still surviving, because we're in like basically a Bible Belt situation, right? Where we're not quite Bible Belt, but close enough. Close enough. And the belief set, I still get literally just last week when I said, well, I mean, I do psychic medium stuff. When somebody outed me to them, they were like, but I'm a Christian.
Yeah, you should see how many Christians come get a reading.
You are correct. Yes, they're outwardly in public, I'm a Christian, but I feel like when you're in a area where culturally it's accepted, you are going to get more people looking for certifications, looking for, you know what I mean? I think the program's going to stay stronger. The grounds are going to stay nicer. The building, the history is going to be preserved more. Whereas a place like in central Indiana, it's going to be tougher. It's going to be the boots on the ground, but it's tougher to keep fresh people in, keep them coming and keep the money coming in to keep the grounds. I don't know. Just my thought and
I can understand that. Yeah.
But I get it. I get it. So I could see myself pilgriming out there at some point.
It is different because you get people a lot from other countries. I mean, all countries. I mean, I met all over Europe who come to this Arthur Finley for classes, and a lady from Switzerland was like, "You guys don't talk about this?" Like, I'm like, "No, like not in America." She goes, "It's out all over Europe. Like, it's not as scary as people think, and it is more normal than it is here." Absolutely.
Yeah, we still have laws on the books here in Indiana that what we do actually is illegal.
Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. Fortune telling is illegal.
Yeah.
So
but yeah, the cool thing is the so when I went in February, the first time, it was art, which is something I wasn't really expecting. And art readings, what you can read from scribbles is amazing. And they tell you, okay, yeah, but it's scribbles, but you're putting your energy and you're putting your intent into that piece. So when you give that over, yes, you may be reading into what they call pareidolia, where you're making figures from inanimate objects and shapes and things. But spirit does help you put that there. That's what people get kind of like, but it's pareidolia, it's your brain. Yeah, well, spirit is also helping your brain and your head, your arm, move in those ways to be able to present themselves this way. So that's what I'm saying with the knowledge and the depth from that is coming from. So, because I know that we did a project from art where it was, she gave us blank hands, 10 hands, and she says, symbols from childhood all the way until your future but draw symbols. And literally it was swirls and zigzags and then I ended up with a bunch of stars on my future side. Like I had to tell my guide to stop because there was just no more room. And pick a partner, random, switch, and read each other. And you read each other from all these symbols, and each of us read exactly what we needed to, what it was on point, basically, of what she got, my childhood and my future and my what was happening now. I got what was happening now with her and everything, just from symbols and shapes.
Wow, I love that. I love that was even a class. Like, what a great experience to to look at spirit from that perspective. And I get what you're like, people that are like, but it came from your brain. Well, where do you think spirit communicates?
Where do you think spirit communicates from?
We're mental beings. Like it's to me, it's the same as mental mediumship.
Yeah.
It's coming in and it's going out. So, what would you say would be that out of that week? What would you say that was your biggest takeaway? You were able to come back and like apply to now.
So, that actually working with, because I found my art guide finally showed up, or at least presented himself to me. And that, yes, spirit knows all and very intelligent, but they also have to learn how to work with us. Yep. People tend to forget that, yes, they're very intelligent, they know all and blah, 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 but then why can't they just do simple things? No, because they still have a personality that they are presenting, and they still need to learn how to work with us, even if we pair very well with each other. So my art guide is very, very impatient a lot of the times, and wanting to do everything now. And I can't do that. I mean, I have 3 children and a husband and my own work life to take care of. That putting some time aside for art is difficult. So learning to work with him was probably my biggest takeaway, that they're very intelligent, but they still need to learn how to work with us and us with them. So me and him, like I told him, okay, I will do this, but you got to be patient. Like I will get to it, but you got to be patient.
Yeah. And that's one of those really cool things that, and I talked about this with Meg a little bit, that in a meditation, as we were like in one of my development classes, where I just let my teacher guide come through and just teach the class like that. Right. I just let that happen. And one of the things that he had said was, okay, as you're connecting mental mind to mental mind with your spirit guide, ask them what you're learning from them today, but ask them also what they're learning from you. And I remember my conscious mind going, what?
Yes.
And then,
exactly.
And then getting that download of, yes, we are learning from you as well. This is, we are continuing as souls or as spirits to grow in this role. Maybe they've never been a teacher guide before, and they're also learning how.
Yes.
And so what I have been shown also is when I'm in development class, my teacher guide is working with the other teacher guides. My mediumship, what I call the joy guide, that the joy guide, which also works with me in my mediumship, is working with the others as well in their own little classroom project format. And that was mind blowing to me that they are learning just as much as we are here. So coming from that knowledge, I think it deepens the respect that I have for their journey, as well as it gives me more patience with them too.
Well, see, my art guide eventually wants me, and this is something that I am like, again, you never stop learning, right? Is learning to really get into trance work, because what he eventually wants to do is, which he was starting to do the first time I went to Arthur Finlay, because the second time I went was more paranormal work. So we did some art, but not a lot. Like I went and I drew spirits that I saw on our investigations as I saw them, that was able to link up with the historian lady who ran the place. And yeah, she was amazed by that, because she was like, yeah, I'm not surprised that they're still here, But he eventually wants me. He's been trying to get me into trance. Trance is a little bit scary, because again, it's that letting of control that you have to learn how to do. And I'm still working on that, because
I may or may not be teaching that come the first of the year.
Sounds like a class. I love it.
It is.
But he wants to get me to blend enough with trance that he can draw through me, and not me draw it as he sees it. Right. I've seen him actually start to blend with my hand. And it gets a little scary because it's like, oh God, I mean, and I could feel it. My arm starts to get tingly, and it gets that kind of like, your arm's like falling asleep.
Yeah.
And I can feel him start to move my muscles and stuff, and it freaks me out. So I am learning how to work with him, and that I know it's okay.
See, we just had this discussion with Meg, but I do the same thing. We both do. We're like, listen, I'm talking. Just back off a second.
No, he's telling me like, not to be so scared. I'm like, I know. It's just, it's a thing I'm working on. And so he's got to learn how to be patient with me in that area, but I'm getting there. My teachers over there, when the second time I went, we did trance work. We did it in both, but one of the teachers teaches trance. So she has taught trance for like over 20, 30 years now.
Is that Eileen?
No, Peggy. Her name's
Okay.
No. Sorry. I always call her Peggy for some reason. Her name is Sally Barnes. And she's been there for like 30 years, and she's taught and she was, we went through the trance thing, and we did our own little cabinet experience that week that we went, because they're not allowed to have cabinets for safety reasons. So she brought a little, what'd you call it? Pop-up spray tent thing, and we made it dark, and we did 5 minutes in there, and some of the experiences you get from just a pop-up tent are crazy. We went to another trance experiment, and it was a chair and a rope. That was it, in an open room, and you could do trance just like that. So
I could do trance just sitting here.
Exactly, but a lot of people haven't done trance, and they haven't done that, so they were trying to get us like comfortable with that, and the buildup of energy, and it was interesting. And I've done trance before, and so it's just it's a little scary of an area to dive into for me.
Well, it is, because trance really is, it's giving up control, but it's not, because rule number one, and they'll tell you, is the medium is always in control. So if at any point you don't want that spirit there, you have the choice to say, okay, we're done here.
Yep.
And I think that's the biggest thing to, once you fully believe and understand that, it does make it easier to do like an automatic writing or an automatic. But it sounds like your guide's really wanting to go even deeper.
Yes.
As you said, not necessarily just mental mediumship and tell me what to do, but let me just step in and do that for you.
Yes. And that's what one of the teacher's guides actually does. I forgot her name. I'm not the teacher, but her name is Coral, but her guide's name I forgot. And literally Coral is right-handed. Her guide is left-handed. So she says to her guide, if you want me to do this, you have got to learn how to do right-handed. So her guide had to teach herself how to draw and write right-handed. So that's what I'm saying. Guides have to learn as well. And then she said, listen, I've got kids. This is, 20 some odd years ago when she was learning. You've got to be patient with because I have kids. I can't, at 10 o'clock at night, we can do it. Other than that, leave me alone. I have kids to worry about. Exactly. Yeah. So that's what they did. 10 o'clock, she would draw for 2 hours and then go to bed, and so that's how they practice with her guide. So that's exactly what he wants to do with me, because my guide has said eventually, not only will I be able to write or draw a lot of these portraits and memories and things, I'll be able to write in that person's handwriting as well eventually. So, but that's a lot of, a
lot of practice and moving parts right there.
A lot of moving parts, exactly. And a lot of it is the trance portions. A lot of it is getting comfortable with giving up that control. I don't know if you know of Gorgon Higginson. So he was one of those very well-known trance mediums over there. He used to do a lot of seances. He bugged me the entire time I was there the second week. And but I learned that he actually had, I believe, a stroke, and the one side of him was completely not working. It had basically, fried his nerves there, and he just had no connection. But anytime he would go into trance with spirit, the spirit would reconnect the arm, and he would be able to draw and write and do everything. And then as soon as the session was done, his arm would go back to being useless.
But what an interesting, it makes you wonder if that was he chose that path as a soul coming into this lifetime, if he chose that path for the evidence of being able to do this work.
Yeah.
That'd be an interesting deep dive right there.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It's interesting. All the exercises that they have you do there,
Right.
the second week I went, I have so much artwork that I did from over there that you could do with ink and watercolors and acrylic paints, coloring. There's regular, even just pencil drawings. It's very, very interesting what you can see in something. Once you're able to just let go of, this has to be something perfect or something like this,
Right. Just trusting the process, basically.
Exactly.
Trusting the process. Wow.
And I do have news.
Yes.
I will be going back in February. So this will be my third trip to Arthur Findlay.
Exciting.
So,
what now? Is it going to be another art week, or is it going to be something different?
it's going to be all of it. So it's called the Spiritual Explorer. So they're going to be exploring a lot of art. They're going to be exploring trance. They're going to be going over mediumship, everything like that. So they're going to be exploring different avenues of mediumship and just kind of putting it together in all 1 week. So
that's exciting.
Yep.
I love that. Well, we'll have to reconnect after you get back and have you back on and talk about your experiences, because I'd love to. I know that there are a lot of people that watch my lives that are interested in pursuing, education as far as like mediumship or their spiritual journey. And, and I believe there are a lot of people who do it not necessarily to even be professionals. They just want to enrich their lives, or, to be able to do cool things. Yeah. I don't know, for whatever reason, their own personal journey, not necessarily do it professionally. And I think it's really good if we keep people like you and I who do, and there are many others that continue our educations, that continue learning and growing, to keep encouraging people. Hey, you know what? This is out there. This is out there. This is out there. And I did this cool class here, and I learned this about myself, and this is how I apply it to my everyday life. And I think it's good to utilize our platforms to share. And I know you did. Like, as soon as you got back, you're like, guess what? I did.
Well, the cool thing is there's another facet I don't talk about too much because of safety reasons, is the psychic detective work is something that they actually used to teach there. And for some reason it fell off, because one of my teachers actually does psychic detective work there on top of her paranormal work, on top of her all this work that she does, and she's got degrees and PhDs, so she's not like, just going on the hinge here. She's a very smart woman, and she does very scientific things, but she says, you can't really explain a lot of these things I have, and you can't say no because I have all the scientific backup that, I can't prove to you that I can prove to you that I don't know how to explain how stuff works. But but we've talked about paranormal on top of psychic detective work as well. And, she's recommended me to start the process to teach there, and also to start, getting, bringing back a lot of the paranormal detective classes and things. So we'll see where it goes.
Keep me posted on that. I want to know all those things.
Yeah.
It'd be awesome.
Should be interesting.
Wow. Well, hey, thank you so much for coming on today and taking the time out of your day and talking to my people, all 10 of them.
I love it.
So we had quite a few people over in the TikTok too, that they're like, wait, I hear Michelle. So Nicole from
Hello.
She was popping and she's like, wait, I know that voice. That's gotta be Michelle. So, but thank you so much for coming on, and thank you to everybody for watching and engaging. And I know that from the TikToks, and you guys were just listening, and I appreciate you. And some of you popped over and got in the comments. So I really appreciate everybody coming in and being part of today. And again, so make sure that where can people find you? Your website's not working.
So my website is under construction because I'm going to be adding some updated pictures of myself, as well as updated services that include the art with it. So I am working on taking a lot of pictures, examples of artwork, examples of what art I will be offering. So it's just been a lot to get together, as well as a store. If people want to purchase anything, because I sew on the side and I have a lot of stuff here. So I was like, well, if anybody wants it, then I'll put it up. And a lot of it is kind of like these little bags.
Oh, so cool.
You can put your tarot cards in and stuff.
Wait, is that dragons on there?
No, it's peacocks.
Oh, peacocks. Okay.
Peacock feathers.
Really quick by.
This one's not for sale, but I have so many and all those like galaxy designs, and I have a bunch of Ouija fabric and all those very cool fabrics.
Well, so tell people where they can find you. So your website, as well as like in the meantime where they can find you.
So in the meantime, you can find me on Facebook. I'm usually I've been a little bit more active on Facebook than I do have an Instagram. I'm not very active on there. It's a lot of social medias, but Facebook I'm pretty active on when I'm active on TikTok here. So you can find me. TikTok is probably more active. I've been a little bit busy this last month, a lot of school stuff with children. I had a lot of sickness. I also just ended up recovering from some surgery that I had to get. And hopefully I can get back on track with a lot of things work-wise. But you can find me on my website. But if you need to email me, it's michellepacemedium@yahoo.com.
And your screen name for TikTok is Michelle
Medium. Michelle_Medium or Michelle Medium.
I think
I don't remember.
There's an underscore in there. I'm pretty sure there is.
I think it's underscore, yeah.
I think so too.
So.
Mine's the same way. They got a little underscore in there.
Yep.
So we don't have, whatever. All right. Well, thank you again so much.
It was amazing.
Make sure you guys are following her on the TikTok. She does do readings and stuff, and ethical, very well trained medium, and I really appreciate that.
Thank you so much.
So
I love it.
Thank you all. I hope you have a fantastic day. I'm off and running, and we will see you next Thursday. I've got Kara Goodwin, podcaster for Soul Elevation, and I also have Hannah McIntyre, author, UK medium. She's going to be on next week. And so you guys
awesome.
Cannot wait. And we will hopefully see you all next week. All right. Thank you so much. I'm going to do my little outro. Have a fantastic day, everybody. We'll talk soon.
Thank you for watching. Be sure to subscribe now, and we will see you